Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at Texas Tech's Jarrett Culver. The versatile swingman has done enough in his sophomore campaign to be considered a potential lottery pick. Let's take a look at why. Culver is a capable scorer from all three levels on the floor. The combination of his size, strength, and handle allow him to get to spots and finish at the rim. Although he's not an overly dynamic athlete, he excels by playing through contact and finishing strong. He does a good job of changing speeds and playing at his own pace when on the attack. Culver isn't extremely shifty, but he can do damage on straight line drives when he has a full head of steam. He has just enough mobility off the bounce that his strength can edge him past meeting points with his defender. He also has the ability to alter his shots and finish from a variety of angles at the rim. He's generally limited as a straight line and downhill threat, but he can still be effective when attacking the basket. He also brings a functional mid-range scoring package with a combination of turnaround and pull-up jumpers. He can be stiff with the ball, but his mobility off the dribble in combination with his height is adequate enough to get his shot off. The threat of him attacking the rim keeps defenders on their heels and gives the scoring window that's needed. Culver is at his best pushing hard downhill where he can keep the defense guessing. He does a good job of getting from the dribble to his shooting pocket quickly and elevates right into his jumper. His pull-up is a great tool that can be utilized out of triple threat or off the bounce in late clock scenarios. Because he lacks elite burst or speed, he uses his pull-up as a frequent backup plan, and it's usually a good bet. He completes his three-level scoring skill set with the ability to knock down the perimeter jumper and help stretch the floor. His mechanics may be slightly rigid with a hitch at the top of his release, but Culver has been functional off the catch so far as he's shooting 35% on the season. He's a willing shooter who lets it fly without hesitation when given the chance. He's also showcased the ability to create perimeter looks off the bounce. He tends to lull his defender to sleep before rising up over them and getting a shot off. Again, the threat of him attacking the rim buys him some reaction time from the defense. Culver has a good feel for moving without the ball, and his perimeter shooting is what completes his well-rounded offensive game. Culver's a two-way threat who can make a positive impact on both sides of the floor. When on the ball, he's willing to get in a stance and compete. He has good body control and isn't afraid to challenge the offense on an island defensively. He's a physical defender who will make his man work to get open and then has the capability to bait them into tough shots once they have the ball. His versatility on the perimeter comes in handy as he can switch aggressively to guard multiple positions. He's a rare defender that can switch as an advantage and opportunity for his team rather than just out of emergency or necessity. If anything, one of his weaknesses is that he can be too aggressive when hawking the ball handler, and he occasionally will open up driving lanes. But even then, he will stay with the play and has the capability to recover. When off the ball, he stays engaged and is a willing help defender. He has a good feel for what his help responsibilities are, and he commits to his rotations. He can make an impact by playing the passing lane, and he isn't afraid to get on the floor as he regularly makes hustle plays and earns extra possessions. Culver is a tough competitor on the defensive side of the ball, and it's one of the reasons that his draft stock continues to rise. Culver's an above-average passer for his position. His court vision and willingness to move the ball allow him to use his scoring presence to create looks for others. He helps to facilitate ball movement by looking up in transition and making the extra pass in the half court. Although his accuracy can waver from time to time, he generally makes the right read more often than not. He has the ability to exploit a rotating defense both from a scoring standpoint and as a capable facilitator. The passing clips may show some highlights, but he also makes simple and effective plays with quick touch passes and skips that lead to high-quality shots. Passes that don't always end up in the stat sheet. To get this level of passing capability from the wing position is part of what makes Culver an intriguing prospect. His downhill and attacking style of play already make him a threat in hard closeout scenarios, but the fact that he can also make efficient reads off the bounce only adds to his value. The biggest question mark with Culver has to deal with his upside. He's a player that doesn't have any glaring weaknesses, but he's also not elite in any one category. He has a strong frame and good size, but he's not a dynamic athlete. He can be effective when attacking the basket, but he lacks the quick first step and his handle is functional, but not great. He doesn't have the wiggle to create separation against quicker defenders, and it usually leads to him forcing contact or taking a tough pull-up. When defenders force him to play outside of straight line drives, he can really struggle. He projects to be a 3-and-D guy, but he's not an elite shooter off the catch quite yet either. There's definitely a role for him in the league thanks to his well-rounded skill set, but he may not have the upside of other prospects in his class. He looks to be a great piece to add to a roster, but he might not be the right pick for teams that are struggling for an identity to move forward with and build around. This is what ultimately will have him drop a few spots on draft night. Jarrett Culver is one of the safest picks in this draft. In a draft class full of high variance, hit or miss type players, Culver seems to be the odd man out. It's hard to see him not having some level of success with his ability to make an impact on both sides of the ball. He may not have the highest ceiling, but he does have one of the highest floors. If he can tighten his handle and improve his consistency from the perimeter, he has a lot to offer a team. While he's certainly played his way into lottery pick status, I believe that he outplays multiple prospects that will get called before him on draft night due to upside and dynamic potential. Culver may never be the guy, but he looks to be every part of a productive NBA player, and it's because of this that he will outlast some of his riskier peers.